Hey everybody, I'm back on the Civil War 1861 to 1865, starting a brand new campaign as promised. And we are going to be playing as the Confederates, but I believe this time around I am going to start with a cavalry unit depending on what is available. So I'm going to start by putting our difficulty on very hard. I want my aggressive is on mediocre. And I'm going to start in the East 1861 campaign because I'm going to do the regimental career. So to start off, let's look to make sure everything's on. Order delays, fog of war. I have the readiness system turned off just because I don't like how kind of wonky it is. It doesn't work all that well, as you might have seen in my review post. So I'm going to continue to keep that off. Feuds I'm going to leave on. It's regimental campaign. I'm playing as a small-time officer, hopefully building my glory during the Civil War. And I'm going to have auto manage on because since I am just a small fish in a bigger sea, I want the computer, the AI, to go ahead and manage how the country is going to progress moving forward. If you look up here at the military balance starting in east of 1861, we have morale of each side is at 100, experience is at 0. The Union vastly is superior in numbers with 78,000 to our 43,000. They also have 36 ships to our 9 ships. So at the beginning of the war, the Union had a clear advantage. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump right in here and start our new campaign. We're going to use my pretty little default picture that I created and put into the folder for my own portrait. Because it doesn't bother me, we're going to put my real name. And the nickname that everybody that I know calls me, which is Old Man, even though I'm not that old. And I know Texas didn't have too many great heroes or generals or officers during the Civil War, but I am from Texas, so we're going to go ahead and put Texas as my home state. We're going to do birthday here. We'll do my actual birthday, but I want to be born in 1828. That just gives me more options to whether or not I can choose to participate in the Spanish-American War or, the Mexican-American War, or I can choose to have not done it at all. Okay, I'm going to go through these questions really quick. Yes, I was born in America. I'm going to put that I was a junior officer commanding my small unit. Actually, no, I'm going to go with C. No, I did not. During that time, I was advancing my political career. Hopefully, that'll give me some prestige. Okay, did I study at West Point? Yes. There's just something more heroic about the Civil War and being a officer who studied at West Point and was a professional officer. There are other routes you can take, but I would rather be a professional officer. I feel like it's going to give me more room to grow in my military career. Okay, because I'm kind of a nerd and an actual teacher in real life, I'm going to put that I was a top student, obedient, and disciplined. That's how I was when I was actually in the Army, so I might as well click it for my tribute for this fake military I'm joining. Which of the following did you find most interesting during your West Point studies? Again, nowadays in the Army call this land nav, but definitely one of my favorite things I did when I was in the military. So much fun watching new guys struggle. It's just one of the greatest things. Alright, so what did I do after graduating West Point? Let's see. I stayed in the Army and served my country fighting in the many Indian wars. Okay, I quickly became an administrative officer. I really like that choice. I feel like that's going to help my administration. If you notice, we have these 5 potential attributes that we need to build, and administration is one of the most important. That's going to determine how much how much supplies and ammunition you carry into battle. And I've been in my last playthrough, I was in several battles where it would have been helpful if I had a little more money or a little more supplies and ammunition. Okay, which of the following best describes my motivations? Well, come on now. I gotta be a decorated war hero. Which of the following best portrays your reactions if during the war you were ordered to do something you thought controversial? Give me a written letter. Tell me, that way I got proof that you the moron and I'm not. How do you describe your relationship with religion? Well, I attend sermon regularly as one does and try to live accordingly to religious views. I want to be a little bit religious, but not too much. I have seen playthroughs of others playing it where you go the non-traditional route with religion. It can really hurt some of the little tasks it gives you and stigmatisms can really hurt your progression. Alright, if I'm insulted by a fellow officer, how would I most likely react? Well, I'm not going to punch the guy, but I will definitely insult him back. Gotta be kind of cool and collected. You're an officer, you're an example. Okay, social events. I'm hoping this will help my prestige a little bit. I definitely want to make sure that my prestige is good moving forward. Oh, well, if my friends asked me, they would definitely say I am fitting a social status of an officer and a gentleman. Which of the following is most important for an officer commanding units in battle? Well, I would, again, administrative skill. You definitely want to make sure that my administration is doing well. Which of the following virtues do you excel at more than others? Planning, logistics. Let's go ahead and try and get that initiative or cunning. I'm not sure which one this works with, but I feel like it works with one of those two. I would think it would be initiative. If confronted with disagreement among your peers, which is the following? I'm going to remain calm and defend my own points. I'm not going to sit there and give in. Alright, which of the following do you enjoy the most? Well, I like talking about myself while I'm on YouTube. Showing y'all how good of a new gamer I am, I guess. Which of the following descriptions for Americanism is most accurate in your opinion? Well, I definitely believe in the old values. Now, I don't believe in some of the old things we used to do in this country, but I definitely prefer to live, as my friends say, the old man lifestyle. I don't really care for new things being thrust upon me. I like being set in my traditional ways. What do I think American Civil War? Most people see the Civil War as being started by slavery, but it was so much more than just abolishing slavery. Abolishing slavery is definitely a great thing that it did happen, but that's not the primary reason that the Civil War was fought. The Civil War, in my opinion, was definitely fought because the North was saying, hey, this is how you're going to live, and the South is like, that's not how we're going to live. There were so many other things that went into, they were trying to dictate, oh, well, you can only do certain things. They're taking rights away from the states and making it more of a federal. So I'm going to say it's C, about individual state rights of governing themselves. Okay? Which of the following describes your military? Well, I want to become an important, influential general admired by all. I want to serve my country proudly, and if need be, lay my life for the benefit of others. Most importantly, I want to see the elephant. I want to have an interesting life of full adventure to see the world. Well, the first thing I want to do for sure is I want to be an influential general. I want to grow through the ranks, become a general that's admired by his men. If comparing your military career with other possible options, which of the following best describes its benefits? Well, definitely gotta look good in a uniform. Alright, which legendary Americans of recent times do you admire the most? Well, there's a really good group of guys here, but I really like the choice of George Washington for this, especially playing for the Confederacy. I know if he had been around during this time, he would have been more of a Northern in the Union Army. But what he did against unprecedented odds, you know, that's the kind of general I think the South needed. Somebody who could take a small group of rabble and turn them into independent warriors. In your opinion, which of the following descriptions best describes the nature of contemporary warfare? Let's see. Right here, nothing is in essence changed. Even now, we depend on our infantry. Like, that is our front lines. That is what is going to win us wars, even in the current state of America. Okay, my unit is advancing over terrain and come under fire from well-covered position. The men refuse to advance. What do I do? Well, I'm gonna definitely have my skirmishers go out and maneuver the main body to a better position to maybe outflank them, or to maybe take the hilltop, whatever kind of terrain, depending on what's around. But I'm definitely gonna send some skirmishers out there to slow their advances. A group of volunteers will overdue contracts for use to fight. When your unit is just about to join the battle, what would you do? Well, I'm going to have them tried for desertion then and there, and shot as a warning to other troops. Desertion's not okay. By them leaving and saying, "Hey, we gotta get, like, we're not fighting if we're not paid." Well, your brothers in arms, you know, they could lose their lives because of that. All right, the most important role of cavalry is definitely keeping lines of communication open and delivering orders when required. Definitely need those cavalrymen riding fast and trying to get them orders in. You just never know what kind of turn that could make for a battle or war. Communication, your commander are lost and overwhelming enemy forces moving your way. What do I do? Well, I'm gonna choose to, you know, prove my military prowess right there. Alright, you're ordered to hold the line, but in front of you is even better ground. What do you do? Well, I'm going to send those engineers out. I'm definitely going to have them check out the terrain, and then I'm going to contact my superior officer and see what his opinions are. Well, I'm going to dismount and I'm going to rush forward. They'll follow me into battle. Okay, the best quality for an officer in battle is ability to think outside the box. So qualities in an army is most important in winning wars. Well, we definitely want tactical skills who have studied, or no, we want to make sure that we have good lines of communication in the supply trains. Like I was talking about earlier, supplies are a must, and you need to make sure that you are paying close attention to your supplies. Which of the following tactical principles is most important in your opinion? I'm definitely say prudent maneuvering. That has to go along with the infantry. You know, making sure we're moving properly and keeping our lines of communication open. We want to make sure that that's not just us, it's also the cavalry and the artillery. We want to make sure everything is working as one unit. This is the final question, and you will soon be in combat. If you could do only one of the following before marching out with your unit, what would it be? Well, I would definitely give them an inspirational speech. Heck, it could be our last day on this earth. I wouldn't want to go and never know, we could be on a battlefield, might not be able to make it to a church. Definitely don't want to throw a party, and who knows how far away my family is. Being from Texas, more than likely I'm going to be in Virginia or in one of the eastern states, so I wouldn't be able to get home to my family. So an inspirational speech. Alright, so the questionnaire is finished. I have ended up getting 2,800 prestige, 250 $1,000. I am a captain. I'm a West Point graduate, and I am an engineer. Okay, I'm a bit of a party animal. I'm prudent. I'm unflinching, and I'm a fire eater. So, got some good skills, some not so good skills. Hopefully, I'll be able to get rid of this party animal and this fire eater one. But my administration is great. It's only considered mediocre. I need to work on my leadership. My initiative's not bad. Fame will come on its own, and cunning, I need to build that up a little bit. But we are ready to start. So we're going to sign up. Now, when we get into the main map, for this video, I am going to go ahead and select my unit that I'm going to play as, and in there, my next video will be me continuing to play on and doing my battles, and maneuvering around the map and see what I can do. So this will only take a few seconds to load, but go ahead and feel free to read the information on the screen. Some of this information is really good, some of it not so much. Before you go into battle, it'll actually give you information on the troop numbers, the supply information of both the armies going to be competing. So it's, you know, it's got some useful information later on once you're actually in your campaign. Okay. So when you first start your campaign, you will come up on the screen here. It will say, appoint command, sir. You will be granted command of one of the following units. So you'll have to spend your prestige, so it is important that you get some prestige to pick which unit you want to take over. Now, because I said I wanted to start the regimental campaign, I am not going to pick one of these higher numbers because those are the actual brigades. That's where I'll be in control of 4 different officers under my command, but for now we are going to pick which battalion I want to be in. So infantry, special, that's a special type of unit that's still infantry. So here we have a cavalry unit in Stewart's Brigade in the Army of Shenandoah. We have a couple artillery units. So it looks like the only cav unit that I can be a part of. Oh, there's another one here. That's cavalry. And I'd rather be in the Army of Potomac than the Army of Shenandoah. I don't know why. I prefer the Army of the Potomac. It gets into more combat. Early on, it's going to progress your career a little bit quicker. I've never done a cav start before. I usually start infantry, so this is going to be an interesting start. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. So now, let's come up to my portrait and go ahead and assign my headquarters. It's important to go ahead and do this right away before you start time up and start playing your game, because it is easily forgotten. Now, if you scroll your mouse over the shield, it will tell you what each one of these guys will do. Now, the more prestige that they cost, obviously the better they're going to be. So I'm going to start with Lieutenant Arthur Bagley. He is going to be my adjunct officer. Why I need an adjunct officer as just a cavalry, who knows, but that is what it is telling me. Now my second in command, we are going to come and look at, looks like Lieutenant Colonel Camille de Paloma. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm from Texas. Pronouncing names that are kind of funny or is not my strong suit. And for my quartermaster, which this guy is going to directly affect your supplies efficiency. So Lieutenant John Morgan, he is going to give me a plus 11.3 on my supplies, so that's really going to help. And if you notice, my administration went up a little bit, and everything went up based on these characters picked here. And the higher rank you become, the more of this general staff and staff corps that you will have. We also have actions available, and since I have prestige, I want to do one of my actions that's going to give me wealth. And if you notice, each one has a color marker. You can only do one of these at a time. There is a spot for you to use one card per area, but you're only able to do one at a time. So make sure you're choosing wisely. Wealth and prestige early is really helpful because you're gonna need prestige. Early on, getting prestige is not an easy feat, but I like to do fundraising to earn my money. It's quick, it's easy, it only takes a little bit of time to do, and it only costs 200 prestige. And then I earn myself up to $1,000, and then I come over here and I do a political rally. Political rallies can help you, but they can hurt you. Since I'm a fire eater, it can actually hurt me. But like I said, I'm going to do one of these events to get rid of that fire eater. I did forget, because I have the Whiskey and Lemons DLC, I need to come to my camp, and I always put one in politics because I'm going to be doing that political one, but you have to increase your leisure time, and I'll go and adjust these more and show these to y'all more whenever I come back for my next video. But you have to have those selected before you can do your activities. Because if you notice, like on the fundraising, it tells you, well, it did tell me that I need to do leisure time. So I'm going to click that, and if you look on your hourglass, it says it's going to take 9.5 days for that to complete. So I spent 200 prestige, it's going to give me 500 money. If I do this 2 times, that's going to give me enough to do one of the political. And I can just keep bouncing back and forth. Because that political one I do gives me 1,000. You can do the throw a party, but that's not going to give you as much prestige. It's only going to give you 250 prestige. You got to spend 200 money. Yes, it's a little quicker, but that's how you get that party animal. One that can really end up hurting you because other officers will see you as just a partier. Okay. I want to look at my current unit, see what we're looking at, see how many troops I have. So this is the military screen. If you notice, it is showing all the different units. If they are yellow, they have this little yellow, I can apply for that command and I can transfer from my current unit into a different unit. So notice I can do everything but the brigade level. Now, if you know Beauregard, he doesn't like me much. Our attitudes don't match very well. So he's not gonna care too much for me. Once I start doing some things like winning some battles, helping him out, following orders, that'll go up, and hopefully it'll end up with a arrow pointing up in this corner. But for now, it's not showing great. So I have 300 men. We currently have mixed cavalry weapons. I can click upgrade, but if you notice, we're at the very beginning, there's no upgrades. So you also spend prestige to upgrade your weapons. So that's why prestige is very important to get, especially early on. So I am part of the 30th Virginia Cavalry. Now if I want to, I can click over here and I can rename it. That is actually a renamable spot. It doesn't look like it, but you can change the cav unit or infantry unit to whatever you want it to be. Alright, well, thank you for watching this video. Next time, we will actually get into some fighting. This is just an introductory to my newest character. Thank you, and make sure you click that like and subscribe button.